Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Vinci Hair Podcast. I'm Josh. Today, we've got a very, very special guest, musician, singer, performer, entrepreneur now. It gives me great honor to say hello, Wagner. How are you?
Hello, Josh. I'm good, thank you.
How's things going?
How are
You good?
you?
I'm very good. Just super busy. Usual sort of drill.
We're not as well as we deserve, but we are better than our enemies would like us to be.
It's a very good saying. I like that. You're back in London.
Yes.
Obviously, spending a lot of time in Brazil. We've got lots to cover. We've only got a short period of time. We've only got you for a very short period of time. But I wanted to sort of, with everyone we speak to, we always like to sort of roll back to the very start and find out a little bit about what the background is and what your background is and when you've grown up and so on. So obviously famously Brazilian, famous from the X Factor as well. And we'll come on to that a little bit later on. But let's start at the beginning. Where did you grow up, Wagner?
Where did I grow up? Where did I grow? I grew up in Rio de Janeiro. I was born in João Pessoa in the northeast of Brazil, but I've learned to walk and speak in Rio.
What does that mean for people who don't know Rio? What does that mean for people who don't know Rio?
Well, that means that I've learned to walk and speak in a city which is full of criminals and things happening and parties and beautiful women and festivals and lots of things going on. It's a very exciting city.
It is.
And I had a very happy life there.
When did you move from Rio then? You moved from Rio to somewhere else in Brazil? Or?
First, I went to South Africa
Okay.
in 1990.
Okay.
And I worked there for 3 months, went back to Brazil, and then I had that bug that I wanted to leave Brazil, and I came to England
And so,
in 1992.
In 1992, you came to England.
Yeah.
Now, there is, on the subject of South Africa, there is a very, it's quite a famous photo of you and a lion. We have to address it. I was going to say we have to address the elephant in the room. We have to address the lion in the room. How on earth did you end up owning a lion?
Well, I didn't own the lion, and when I think about it now, I feel quite ashamed of all that, because a wealthy lady friend of mine, she bought the lion cub. So I was one of the people who was raising the lion cub up. But when I think about it now, I think that in order for her to buy that cub, the lioness, the mother, had to be killed by the poachers.
Really?
So it's not something that I am proud anymore. I used to be proud that I raised up a lion cub, but I'm not that proud anymore because later I realized whatever, how horrible the whole thing was, and I didn't realize at the time. It's like many years ago, people would have birds in cages, and people would think it was normal. Today, I think it's a horrible crime.
Sure.
And it's like many people, nearly everybody, used to eat meat, and people are now realizing that what a horrible trade that is, and many people are becoming vegetarians or even vegans.
Yeah, it's very difficult to be a vegan in Brazil.
Well, I lived 23 months there, and I was nearly a vegan. I would eat eggs and fish sometimes,
I'd have to say, I mean, you're looking in good shape.
but I don't eat meat at all.
You don't eat meat at all.
No.
I have to say, I mean, you're looking in good shape. I remember we spoke about this before, but you're sort of quite into physical exercise, your karate. Yeah, I think you did karate when you were young, right?
Thanks for saying I'm looking good. I think I look very old. I'm going to be 70 very soon. But yes, I always enjoyed weight training, karate, jogging, swimming, surfing, cycling. I am a retired PE teacher,
That's right, yeah.
and I taught karate for many years.
What was it like being you're a PE teacher here in the UK, weren't you?
I worked as a supply teacher because
Okay.
I didn't have a QTS,
Okay, I see. Yeah.
qualified teacher status. So as a as an overseas trained teacher, I could only work as a supply teacher, and I did that for 4 years.
Amazing. Yeah. That's but I mean it's interesting obviously the association with particularly Brazilian jiu-jitsu now, but also capoeira. There's a lot of the lifestyle in Brazil is very physical. I've always thought that.
Yeah,
And so coming back to so you grew up in Rio, and then as you said you then went to South Africa, and you talk about you learned to walk and talk the Rio way, the Carioca way.
yeah.
It's when you talk about it, sort of it's dangerous, it's fun, it's sexy, it's vibrant, it's everything. I mean, when you sort of talk about danger, have you ever come into contact with anything dangerous in Rio when you were living there, or
All the time.
all the time?
Yeah.
Any particular situations?
Put it like this: many of my friends were killed
Really?
for different reasons. Uh, a beautiful girl called Cynthia. She was only 16 at the time. Thieves came and shot her dead. Another friend of mine also shot dead by thieves. And another friend of mine was having an affair with the policeman's ex-wife.
Okay.
The policeman went to his house and shot him in front of his mother. So Brazil is dangerous like that.
It is.
I would say that it seems the Brazilians don't have much respect for life.
Life's cheap. It's an attitude. Well, it's an attitude, I suppose.
Yeah, people kill.
Yeah.
Brazilians kill.
Mm. Have you ever been shot?
I have been shot.
You have been shot
Yeah,
in Rio.
yeah.
Wow. I mean, is this sort of
The bullet broke my femur,
the bullet broke your femur?
and I have a plate and 11 bolts. Still today,
Random or purposeful attack?
purposeful.
Purposeful. My God. Yeah, I must admit, I mean, I've been traveling to Brazil now for about 10 years. I mean, I'm lucky, touch wood, nothing has ever happened. And I've put myself in positions where things should have happened, but I've been lucky. So when you left, so when you left Brazil and then you moved to I mean, South Africa is not exactly famous for being safe either.
No, it's South Africa is incredibly beautiful, but when I went there in 1990, funny, the day I arrived was the day Nelson Mandela was released, and the white people was fuming. They were fuming. That's what that was the talk in the pubs, and then a black man walked into a pub, and I've heard South African men, white South African men saying, "Look, something like this would never happen before.
Really?
It's happening now, and it's gonna carry on happening."
My God.
Yeah, they have this hatred.
Yeah.
Well, I think they must be better now.
I mean, it's night and day. South
It's
Africa
like
now.
it's like the Germans were Nazis,
Yeah.
but they are not Nazis anymore.
Yeah.
So I believe that eventually this apartheid will be lost in the past. It will be just memories.
It would be memories in the dust of history. Yeah. So when you were so South Africa, you said 3 years you spent in.
No, 3 months.
Sorry, beg pardon. Three months in South Africa, and then the magnetic pull of my fair country of England. You came to England. Did you immediately start as a supply teacher then, as soon as you arrived?
No, when I came to England, I first worked in double glazing.
Did you?
Yes, because double glazing, there was a boom of double glazing at the time in the 90s. Most houses in the 90s still had wooden windows. So double glazing companies would have vans with teams of canvassers knocking doors. asking if people wanted a quote. Obviously, the quote was to set up a trap for the salesman to go in and make a unmissable offer, which was just
An unbeatable offer.
which was just cheap talk.
There's an amazing. It was a really good comedy show in the UK a couple of years ago called White Gold, and it's about the story of a group of guys in the '90s selling double glazing. It's very funny. I definitely recommend to check it out. So obviously you said you did the double glaze and then you moved on to and then did you move on to become a supply teacher after that then or
No, then I realized there was a lot of money in the windows because the canvasser would earn 2.5% of the sale. The canvasser manager would earn 2.5%. The salesman would earn 12%. The surveyor would earn 12%. The regional manager would earn 1%. The branch manager would earn 2.5%. The district manager would earn 1%. Now, hang on a moment. There is a lot of money on these windows. So I started my own window company, and I was very successful. I sold lots of windows. I made a deal with a factory owner. I said, look, if you trust me, you don't have much to lose because if I don't pay you, that means I lose my supplier.
I see sale and
But-
return, yeah.
But I said that basically I don't have any money, but I'll pay you as soon as the customer pays me.
Sure.
And the guy accepted the deal. So for 5 years, I was selling windows and paying the factory, and the customer paid me. And it worked well. The only problem I had is that I didn't think of that. The fitters don't turn up, don't do the job properly. Or the factory doesn't deliver and the fitters go there and there is no delivery. So selling is easy, but as a business, it was a nightmare. I realized I was spending my days apologizing for mistakes that I hadn't made. It was the fitter who made the mistake. It was the factory who didn't believe he didn't deliver. And that was, oh, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. So after 5 years, I gave up and went into supply teaching. And then in 2009, I applied for the X Factor. In 2010, there I was on TV.
X Factor. But obviously, most people will know you from X Factor. This was the same X Factor, I believe, as One Direction. I think there was.
One Direction was in my year.
When One Direction
Yeah.
was in your year. Tell me how that all came about. Tell me what it was like from the audition process to getting all the way through to the quarterfinals, working with Louis Walsh, Simon Cowell.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me everything.
Well, first of all, I never thought I was going to become famous. I thought if I go there and I appear on TV, if I appear on TV once or twice, it might help me to get jobs in pubs as a singer. But I never thought I was going to become famous as I became. And the whole process to me was very enjoyable. I was enjoying every moment that I was there, and I wasn't worried about the future. I wasn't obsessed with winning, particularly because I'm not a great singer. I can't reach high notes. I have a limited range. My voice is quite limited. And I think who should have won in 2010 was Rebecca Ferguson.
Of course, I remember.
So I didn't want to win. I just wanted to be there for as long as possible, enjoy myself. And so I did. I loved it. And I still get work today, 14 years later. I came to England to do one gig, and while I'm here, I got 4 more.
Is that right?
Yeah, so
So what has life after the X Factor been like for you then?
wonderful. Wherever I go, people love me. People ask for selfies. I went to the supermarket yesterday, and 2 gorgeous girls, supermarket workers, can you have a selfie? I said, of course. And so it's nice. I am welcome wherever I go, because some people become famous, but they have haters. I don't think I have haters. I might have some people who don't like me, but of course I do have people who don't like me. But it's nothing like it, it doesn't it doesn't drag my attention. It's
Sure.
very rare. What I really get is this sensation of being welcome wherever I go. People like me, I don't know why. I still don't know why.
It's funny because there's with some famous people they can go by one name, and Wagner is always going to be associated with the X Factor. I mean, whether it's One Direction, Rebecca Ferguson, Alexandra Burke, Will Young, there's lots of musicians that have come out of these talent shows. You're the only person I believe that's come out of the talent show who still can go by one name. That's
No, actually, I need two names.
who else?
My surname became X Factor. I am Wagner X Factor.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's became
now-
became my
yeah.
surname.
Yeah.
Look, Wagner X Factor.
It was really like that. I remember watching it, and everyone always said Wagner.
When the media writes about me, X Factor star Wagner. The X Factor is always there because there are many Wagners,
Sure.
and the way the show presented me to the people was a man without a surname. I was just Wagner.
Like I said, like Madonna.
Yeah, yeah.
Just no surname.
But my surname in England, in the UK, became X Factor. Wagner X Factor.
Isn't that amazing?
Everybody knows who Wagner X Factor.
I mean,
Nearly
that's
everybody
incredible.
knows.
That is incredible. So tell me about the hair loss journey. Was there a journey to your hair loss, or was there a moment? Was fame part of the reason why you went to
No. My generation loved hair. We grew up with the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and the hippies and Woodstock and Led Zeppelin, Rolling Stones. They all had long hair.
Your hair does rhyme with Robert Plant.
So I always had long hair. There are phases in my life that I had short hair, but never these modern haircuts, which I think are mutilation of the hair. They shave the hair, they make stupid designs. I don't like it. So I never fit in this fashion of having short hair. I always liked to have hair. But when I was 29 or maybe when I was 30, my mother said to me, "Son, I think you are losing hair at the back." I got paranoid straight away. And then I looked with the mirror and yes, I'm losing hair at the back. I looked at, put the mirror at the back like that. And then I started using minoxidil. And I used minoxidil for years, since my 30s. But I wasn't taking finasteride, so that my testosterone was still making my hair fall. It was only when I started taking finasteride and had the hair transplants that it all stopped. So, as it started when I was 30, when I went on the X Factor, I was 54. So I already had a huge crater in my head. There was a hole without hair. And I used to make a samurai ponytail to hide it. But the problem was that I was thinning here as well. So it's like, what do I do? If I pull it back, it shows here. There's nothing I could do. So I was feeling mutilated. That's what, to me, getting bald is a mutilation. I hate it. So one day, fed up with my life, I thought, I'm going to see if I get a hair transplant for free in exchange of publicity. So I found one company who said maybe, and the second company I found, second clinic, was the Vinci Hair Clinic. And the lady who answered the phone said, hang on, let me speak to the owner, Salvar. Yes, he said, yes, could you come here for a meeting? I said, of course. So I went there, met Salvar, and I had 2 hair transplants, but I had the old technique. The old technique, you would take a slice of your scalp at the back, then you'd stitch it, the hair would cover it, the hair would grow and cover it. And so from that piece of scalp that they would put on the table, operation, surgery table, whatever you call it. So they would take the hair from there and implant on your scalp. So the first one I had, they focused on the front and put some at the back. And the second hair transplant, they put more on the back and completed the front. But the way that the surgery is made now, it's fantastic. Now shave your head, the surgeon can see clearly where you need it, and can also see clearly where you have more hair that he can take and nobody will notice. So today, hair transplants are fabulous. Much better than they used to be before. But I'm quite happy with my hair transplant.
Really
it's
good.
doing all right.
It looks really good. Good. Right. I think we're out of time, correct? Yeah? No worries. But listen, look, Violet, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. We got to do this again. Tell people where they can find you on the social medias, on Instagram. You're on Instagram, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm not very good with social media, so I don't have many followers, but Instagram is Wagner the Singer. On Facebook, I have a verified page, just Wagner. Okay. And on TikTok, I have Wagner X Factor Official. However, I don't get many viewings anymore. Any post that I would upload to Facebook before 2018, I would get hundreds of thousands of viewings, thousands of comments and shares, and I started selling happy birthday videos, congratulation videos. So the artificial intelligence started recognizing me as a company that sells products. And so now I have the boycott. Whatever I put on Facebook, they'll say, if you pay £30, you can reach up to 1,900 people. And I think, what's the point? Pay £30 to be seen by 1,900 people. That is not gonna sell videos. That's not gonna get me gigs. So the boycotts from social media really jeopardized my business. But that is not a problem because Wagner is now an old age pensioner. I have my pension.
Amazing.
The British government takes care of me.
And on that bombshell, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for coming.
The pleasure was mutual.
All right, guys, that's all for today. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll see you on the next show.